All right, what's up, you guys? This is EJ, and I'm back with well, I'm not back because this is my first time doing a review of a movie. Um, but today, sorry, I'm scatterbrained. So today we're going to be doing a review of the film Midsommar, or Midsummer. Make sure I say it right, girl. So, yeah, as I said, this is my first time doing a review, so please, girl, I know it might be a little bit raggedy, so just just bear with me. It's a little raggedy. Oh, and my room looks kind of like a little bit empty. No, because I'm in the process of moving. So yeah. Anyways, that's irrelevant. So yeah, we're here to review Midsummer. Now I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna be spoiling them. I'm gonna be spoiling the film, so don't watch this until you see the movie. The film is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think. I think so. So girl, if you're ready to sit down for 2 hours, girl, go ahead and up to your theater and see her. I encourage y'all to go to the theater. If you can't afford it, girl, it's okay to bootleg it, girl. It's okay, girl, because it's necessary to see it. But I mean, no, go to the movies. Y'all need to go to the movies. I'm tired of y'all trying to bootleg films. Y'all need to stop that. Well, I do it sometimes. I might bootleg. Anyways, oh my gosh. Okay, so Midsummer. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna go through a quick synopsis of it, kind of going over things a little bit, and then I'll give my final verdict of the film at the end. So oh my gosh, so where to start? So the film. So for people who do not know, for people who do not know, the director of this film. Sorry, you guys, I had to pull it up real quick. So the director of this film is Ari Aster, and he directed the movie Hereditary. Is that how you call it? Hereditary. Which that was. I didn't see that movie. I need to actually watch it still, but I saw a lot of clips of it, and the clips alone, of the film sold me. So this is from the same director who made that amazing film, and so I already knew that this film was going to be a work of art. Just because Hereditary, you could tell that it had a very artistic eye behind it. So that's what this film is giving you. This film gives you very artistic visuals. Just the way that he sets the scenes up. Oh my god, amazing, completely amazing. It also was written by I think written by Ari Aster too, right? Yeah, written by Ari Aster, directed by him. Yeah. So let's get into the plot. I'm sorry for holding you guys up. So the film starts off with the main character. What's her name? Her name is, I think, Danny. Danny, she's trying to contact her sister, who her sister is not responding to any of her emails or texts or whatever, which she kept saying emails, but I'm like, girl, you can't call her. But she said her emails, so she kept emailing her sister. Her sister wasn't responding. So she became very worried. She also was like dealing with a lot of, I presume that she was dealing with like depression or something. That's what I kind of resonated with when it came to Danny. I felt like she was kind of going through something mentally, like anxiety, depression, maybe even paranoia. Like she showed signs of that with her taking medication and stuff like that. So we see that in the film, her going through all of that. She has this boyfriend he isn't really like, he's kind of trying to break up with her. They've been dating for a year, but he's kind of over it, so he's trying to just be done with it and cut it off. So we find out that the boyfriend wants to break up with her. He's kind of done with her in general, but she's still madly in love with him. So when he's trying to get ready to call her and tell her that he's kind of wanting to cut it off or something, that's when we find out that Danny's parents passed away from killing themselves. But they not only killed themselves, they also killed her sister, which was, girl, that was a lot to take in. Oh my gosh, like just the way they set that up was like art. Like it was just art. It was just very, very, oh my gosh, just crazy. Just so basically the parents killed the sister in themselves by wiring, like hooping up something to the cars, like a mechanism, so that way the gas from the car can go into the house. But what's crazy is, and I'm wondering what it, see, okay, hang on. We're gonna get into it at the end. But wow, hang on. I'm gonna just say the parents showed signs that they were kind of crazy. Come, like, for them to do that, like okay, so they wired the hose into their room, and like it went to the door. But the sister, they put the hose in her mouth and taped it all around her mouth. So for me, I'm like, why would they do it to her like that? Like basically putting the gas directly in her mouth. Like that's just wrong. So Danny's parents kill themselves and her sister. So we found all that out. Danny has a whole breakdown. She's going through a lot of mental situations. She goes to her boyfriend's house. When she gets to his house, he's saying how him and his boys about going on a trip to Sweden for his friend's little family, their family's ritual, like their family's little get together, like their festival. She decides to go. They all pump it on the plane, and now we're on our way to Sweden. And one detail, the friends don't like Danny. The friends want the boyfriend's friends want him to break up with her, so they kind of don't really like her. And she knows it in a way, but she just goes along with it, which is a red flag. Like, girl, you should know when people want your company when they don't. So that was her first mistake. But we don't get into her at the end because I have some things about her that I feel. So they're on their way to Sweden, and it was one part that was weird. The one friend of the boyfriend, he was telling her that he's like, oh, I can't wait for you to come to Sweden. Like, oh, he's like, no, he didn't want her to go at first, but then when he got to see her in person, he was like, I'm actually glad you're coming. I'm glad you're coming. And I'm like, girl, like, I don't know why she couldn't pick up on these red flags. I'm like, I'm very observant. I'm a very observant person. Like, I observe people and the way they talk and like look at me, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, girl, no. Like the way he was talking and being all weird. But oh my god, I'm gonna wait till the end to tell you what I'm feeling. So they make their way to Sweden for the festival. All right, so they get to Sweden, and the friend tells them that it's gonna be a 4-hour drive to the festival, which is late. So, and that's one thing that I don't like, is that they should have picked up on it. Their friend was so vague with them about everything. I don't go to things, I don't do things like that. Like, if I'm going somewhere with you to your hometown or somewhere, you need to let me know all the details. You need to let me know the time of the events, what we're going to be eating, what we're going to be doing. Like, you don't just be like, oh, come to my hometown. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing there? Are we doing festivities? Are we going to an event? Are we going to the movies? What are we doing? Like, they didn't ask any questions. They just went with him, which is really dumb. So they're all like shocked and appalled, like, oh my god, 4 hours, freaking out. I'm like, y'all should have been asked this information, and if he didn't want to supply you with information, then you shouldn't go. Like, I'll be like, you need to let me know every bit of detail before we go. Which I would be like, 4 hours, no, I don't want to go out there if we're far away from civilization, because that's me, girl. I'm not going out somewhere with a bunch of people I don't know, far away from civilization, and I don't have a cell phone signal, like nothing like that. No. And that's just because if something bad happens, like let's say one of us gets sick, or one of us, something happens, we need to be able to get to a hospital, things like that. So they all go to the festival. They get there. We meet the friend's family and his group at this festival. Like, they're all like chilling out in the grass in the fields. And we meet another pair of people who aren't from the festival, like people who are brought in from the outside world, like, quote, the outside world. And they're like two people from London. They came in from the outside world. So we do that. We get situated and all that. So everybody's situated in the festival grounds and getting, prepared. And then slowly we start to see things start to get kind of weird, and it starts to get kind of crazy. The boyfriend, he's just being strange. Like, and then Danny, she's going through a lot because she's trying to cope with the fact that her parents and her sister are dead. So she's having like episodes and like breakdowns and stuff like that, and like running off, being like weird, acting crazy. And so she's doing all of that. But eventually we come across this girl who she has a crush on Danny's boyfriend. And we found out that the girl like kind of wants to, like, I guess she kind of wanted to like date him in a way. I think that's what she wanted. Like, well, yeah, she wanted to date him, but she was trying to do it like in a weird way, like trying to put spells and like runes and stuff like that on him. But in the beginning, we just see her like kind of looking at him and glancing at him, but you can tell that she's into him. But so eventually we get to a point. Eventually we get to a point in the film where the whole group goes to this ceremony, where the ceremony is they have to sit at a table and eat some food, and then at the end of the ceremony, the old people get up from the table. Oh, and before that, the friend of the boyfriend, he was telling them how they have life, like the way that they view lifespans. So they view it like when you're a kid up to 18, that's your spring, and then from 18 to 30s, that's your summer, and then from the 30s to the 50s, I think it's 30s to the 50s or 60s, no 50s, I think 50s, 30s to the 50s, that's your fall, and then from the 50s on to the 70s, on to 72, I think 72 or 75, a specific number. 72, that's your winter, and that's when you pass away. So if you live for that long to 72, you have the honor of going through the ritual of them of jumping off a cliff, and then when they jump off the cliff, they're gone and they get reincarnated. And so that's something they look forward to at that age. So during that scene, that's what we see happen. We see these old people go to this cliff, and the group that we see, they're watching them jump off this cliff and commit suicide. And it's just crazy. And so the two people who came from London, they're having a whole meltdown. They're going crazy, which was so late. I'm like, if y'all know this is like kind of barbaric, then it's like, be slick about it. Like I wouldn't like go out there and then cut up. Like I would just be like, ooh, and then I like I would be real slick about it, and then be like, ooh, that's okay. And then in the middle of the night, girl, grab my stuff and pump. Like I wouldn't even grab my luggage. Like bump that. Like I ain't grabbing no luggage, bitch, cause it's time to run. Like we running. Like I ain't grabbing no luggage, girl. We going home with just our phones and a wallet and our passport, and that's all. That's all you need. I would get up middle of the night and run, girl. I ain't asking no questions. Bump that, like, because that ain't right. I don't care what tradition that is. Y'all know that's some weird stuff. Like if people jump off some cliff and they singing and hooping, hollering and doing the most, I'll be like, okay, like wow. But I wouldn't be scared from that, because I'll be like, that's their tradition. Cause like you are visiting someone's tradition. No, I wouldn't go home the moment that. Oh yeah, that's one thing I forgot to leave out for you guys. When they got there, it was like it probably was like 5 p.m. And then when it was 9 p.m., the sun was still in the sky when it was 9 p.m. Red flag. I'll immediately go home. Like I'll be like, as soon as it's nighttime and it's time for us to leave, no ma'am. I'll be like, it's time to go home. And he was, oh, over here at 9 p.m. That's just how it is. Like the sun stays in the sky, and we're like, oh no, never mind. It was because he said the solstice or something like that. So it did get nighttime. I was gonna say if it never turns nighttime, then I'll want to leave. But it did turn nighttime eventually. But yeah. So they have a whole meltdown because them people killed themselves. So moving on. It's so many details, man. This movie was so heavily detailed. Like that's one thing the guy in the audience said when we were leaving. He was like, it was so much stuff in that movie that I'm confused. He was like the moment you want to. He's like the moment you thought you were going to get an answer, you get hit with another question. You get hit with another mystery. And so that was, something I noticed too. I was like, yeah, the moment you thought you were going to get an answer, you get hit with another mystery. So it's like, that's why my mind is scattered right now trying to tell this, because it's so much stuff. I should have wrote it down, girl. But as I said, this is my first review, you guys, so bear with me. Eventually we get to a point where one of the friends, I forgot his name, he was the black boy in the group. So the black boy, which I was happy to see him survive for so long. I was very happy the black boy survived really long. He wasn't the first to get killed, so that I was happy about. They didn't kill the black boy first. I feel like so many movies are trying to stick by that, like not kill the black character first. Cause I'm like, girl, we tired of it. The black girls die so quickly. But I liked him because he was the first to kind of pick up that something wasn't right. And I love the detail they showed with him when he laid down in the bed and he kept the shoes on. Like that was interesting because that's something that we all would do. Like if you know something's not right and you're on a vacation, you want to kind of leave, or you're feeling uneasy, you're gonna go to sleep with your shoes on. You're gonna go to sleep. You're not gonna take a shower and brush your teeth, and you know what I mean. Like and I went through that once. Like I didn't go through this, but I was in a environment where I like kind of didn't feel okay anymore, and so I just like I didn't want to shower. I didn't brush my teeth. I just was ready to go, and like that's kind of like how it is. So I could tell that that's where his mom was at. Like his mom was in it was in flight mode, so that's why he was keeping his shoes on. And so they tried it with him. Like I'm gonna just start listing like some of the deaths now. So first we have the first red flag when the two people from London they want to leave. So they're trying to leave, and the boyfriend and the girlfriend are trying to leave. The girlfriend comes back to get her bags so they can go. When she goes back to get her bags, this man comes up to her and he was like, "Oh, girl," what did he say? He was like, "Oh, your boyfriend already left you. I'm switching it up, girl, for the review. He was like, "Oh, girl, your boyfriend already left you, honey. So you gonna have to just stay here for a little bit and just chill until we send the truck for you too." No, and I'm so glad she caught on. She was one of the smartest ones there. She was like, "Absolutely not." She's like, "No, my boyfriend will not leave me, and this does not feel right." And da da da. And you know, you knew she was about to die. Like you knew she was gonna die because it's like she was catching on to how it was some fuck shit, and so she was catching on to how something it was not right. And so, you know, we later on in the film we hear the girl scream. So we hear the girlfriend scream like out in the woods somewhere. So we could tell they got her, like they got her and they killed her. So the both of them died. There's one friend of the group. The friend of the group, he's like very over the top, very like misogynistic, like you know that crazy toxic masculinity type of guy. And he's like falling in love with this girl. And that's at the festival. And this girl is just giving him like the googly eyes. And then eventually the girl comes and taps on his shoulder and she's like, you know, come on, come with me. And so he goes off with her because, you know, he thinking he about to go get some. And so what she say? She's like, I want to show you something. That's what she said. So she goes off with him to go show him something. We never see him again. So we never see him again. Let's move on. So moving on, we never see him. Later on, the black boy, he's like doing some, I forgot his name. I'm forgetting everybody's name. I just know Danny and what was his name? Chris, I think it was her boyfriend. But I just know them like the two main characters. I think the black boy, his name was Josh. Was it Josh? I don't know, girl. Anyways, so the black boy, he's trying to do research because him and Chris are having like beef about doing research for their school or like their thesis statement about a project. So they're both doing a project on the same thing, which is Midsommar. So the black boy, he goes to this thing. He sneaks in there at night, which was so late. I was like, why would you go in there in the middle of the night? Like, red flag. I'm like, you so stupid. Like, which honestly, let me stop because I was gonna say that I said that he put on the shoes because he was trying to like sneak out, but really no, he kept the shoes on because he was trying to get into that place to get information. So it could have been both. I think he was feeling uneasy, but also he was feeling like he wanted to get more information. So he takes the shoes. He goes up in there to go get information. He's flipping through the book, taking pictures. After they told him not to take pictures, he was still taking pictures. He's flipping through the book, taking pictures of the book for the project. He turns around and he sees the boy from the group, the previous boy who he walked off with that girl because the girl was trying to show him something. He turns around and sees his friend and he's like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing here? And then that's so dumb. I'm like, you should know that your friend isn't like built like that because the guy who was standing there was all built like and was standing there like, and so I'm like, you should know that's not him because his friend is more hang on, y'all. So the black boy, he looking at the guy in the silhouette, and I'm like, why are you looking at him? Like, you know that's not him. Like, cause the guy who went off with that girl, he's very skinny and like he has like a small build, but the guy who was standing there was more bigger. It's just he thought it was his friend because the guy had on his friend's face. So you know the girl, and he was standing there naked. Ooh, so he was standing there. He was standing there naked, with like his like penis out and with his friend's face on. And then the black boy gets hit in the head. He falls down, and you know he's on the ground. And then they let him scream a little bit, and then they drag him off to do whatever with him. Like they didn't kill him. They didn't kill him immediately. They just drag him off. Which I was like, girl, y'all tried it. Y'all know y'all could have gave him a quick death. But you know, so he's dead. The boy who went off with the girl's dead. The couple's dead. So now at this point, all their friends are dead. It's just Danny, her boyfriend, and then the crazy guy who brought them there, who's a part of this circus. So, you know, next we have the situation where Danny participates in this event where she has to dance, and they all have to dance, and whoever's last standing is the queen of summer or spring, whatever they call it. I think the queen of summer, or no, they call it the May queen. So they make her drink this juice. Before she drinks the juice, the girl who had a crush on her boyfriend, she put her pubic hair in a cake and then gave it to the boyfriend so that he can be, you know, fall in love with her like in a spell trance, like in a trance. So he eats the cake, And all he had to do was take one bite out of it. But by the time he took a bite out of it, he noticed that there was a pubic hair, but he noticed way too late. He already bit out of the cake. So, and it wasn't a big bite. It was like really like a small bite. So I'm like, that should show you that. I mean, I guess that just shows how potent the spell was. Like, I'm like, girl, whatever that spell she did was, girl, that was some strong shit, girl. Because it was strong, child. She put a strong spell in him. And so he was just so entranced and just sitting there shaking and shivering. Because I guess, like, he was just like, and they also made him drink something, which that was so dumb, too. Like, why would he drink that? Like, this girl came up to him and she didn't even know what she was talking about. She was like, oh, she's like, I got this drink for you, girl. I got this drink for you. It's so good. And then he's like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to trip out. And she's like, you gotta drink it though. Just drink it. And he was like, I don't want this. And then he was like, am I gonna trip out? And she was like, no, like, drink this shit. Like, she wanted him to get like turned. I don't know, but he was dumb. He was dumb to drink that drink. I'm like, where's all your senses? But I think it was because he also was feeling weird from that cake that he ate. What was it? It was a cake and something else. But he was just feeling all over the place. So he drinks a drink anyways. He drinks a drink, and now he's gone. He's gone. Like, we lost him. Like, we lost him. He's now in the another universe. He's gone. We done lost him, girl. And then, so what's the name? She participates in the dance for being the May Queen, and then she wins because she like doesn't fall down. And so since she doesn't fall down, they take her to this table, and then that's when they start the feast. After the feast, they tell her that she needs to they tell her that she's supposed to what? They tell her that she's supposed to go to the farm and bless their crops. So she goes to the farm and bless their crops. While she's over there doing that, they're over here getting her boyfriend because he's under the spell, and so they're taking him to this room so he can have sex with the girl who put him under the spell. So he's going over there to have sex with this girl while she's over here blessing the crops, and so crazy. And so he's over here doing that, and he walks in the room, and it's a bunch of naked women singing, and they all just singing hymns and runs and just getting their life, dancing and jucking and jiving, and they get in their life. The girl laying in the bed of flowers, like she just freaking, like she's everything, girl. Like she laying in the flowers, like she is just, like she's like, girl, come get in this flower, girl. Like she laying there like she had the best pussy in the world. I'm like, girl, you laying there like you really all that in the bag of chips, girl. But she was just, I'm like, girl, you only doing that because he under the spell. Like that's the only reason you so confident, because he's under a spell. I'm like, he wouldn't want your ass. But she laying there, she opens up her legs, him and her have sex. That part was so funny. The whole theater was laughing because we were just laughing at how it was happening, because at one point the girl gets uncomfortable, and so she's like, oh, this is a lot. Oh, because I think he was taking her virginity too, because when he ran out the building, he like his penis was all like bloody, so I think he took her virginity at the same time. So the girl's reaching up to her mom, and then her mom comes down and starts singing to the girl while he's having sex with her. And that part was so funny because he was like looking at the mom and at her and was like, oh, okay. And he continues, and then at one point this lady comes up behind him and starts pushing him, and she's like, you need to go. She was like, girl, you ain't doing it hard enough. She was pushing him like the. I'm like, that was late. That was funny. Oh my god, this movie was amazing. But like it was just so unsettling. Like the movie never wanted you to feel comfortable. Well, no, there are parts that made you feel comfortable, but the movie didn't really want you to feel comfortable. Sometimes it always threw you off. And with that, like that was so uncomfortable to watch. Like this lady pushing him, and then the mom singing, and then like all of that. And so the girlfriend gets back. She hears all the moans in the building, and she's like, why are they all moaning? And so the girl's like, oh, you don't want to go over there. And she's like, I do want to go over there. Why are they moaning? So she goes over there to go see what's going on. She walks in the building. Well, she looks through the keyhole. And then she starts throwing up, and she's having like a whole breakdown. So all the girls pick her up and like carry her to this room so she can have her meltdown. And she's in the room having a whole meltdown and screaming and crying. And then all the girls start screaming and crying like in unison with her, like trying to sync up with her. And so they all start crying and screaming like, ah, ah, ah. Like it was so ugly. But it was so interesting. Like, oh my god, wow, it was crazy. But they all start screaming and crying in unison, like, ah, ah. And that was so weird. And then they so after that, the boyfriend, he breaks out. He starts running around like crazy. He doesn't know what to do. he runs into this one shack. He runs into a shack, and when he gets inside the shack, he sees the boy who went missing from, in the beginning. The boy, the couple that came in from London. The boyfriend. He sees the boyfriend like strapped up, and the boyfriend was, oh my god, that was wow, that was crazy but brilliant. Like the way they did that, I'm like, oh my god, the director, whoever, like his mind, wow. Like the boyfriend was like hung up, and they pull his lungs out through the back, and so his lungs are hanging up like wings, like butterfly wings, and his lungs are up, and he was still breathing, and so he was breathing, and you hear him like softly breathing. So it's just like, I was like, wow, they tortured this boy, like they tortured him, and he had like a bunch of flowers all over him, and like flowers in his eyes, and so they did that to him. And so the boyfriend sees that, and he's going crazy, and then he comes back up, and then the boyfriend, this guy comes up and like blows something in the boyfriend's face and knocks him out, girl. And so then that happens to him. The boyfriend wakes up, and when he wakes up, and now we're near the end of the movie. So the boyfriend wakes up, and when he wakes up, he's in like a chair, and the woman, she's like, you can't speak, nor can you move. She's like, okay. I was like, girl, shut up. Like, I was like, she tried him. She's like, you can't speak or move. Okay. And so she goes up, and then they start the ritual. And so the ritual is they have to sacrifice 9 people to this god or whatever the case may be. So they have to sacrifice them for the yearly ritual or whatever. And then the queen can say, yes, like, you guys picked the right people. So here's where we're gonna get into it real quick. The girl Danny, from the beginning, from the whole movie, Danny, who her parents died, she came on this trip, she having all these breakdowns and doing the most and being all theatrical, and now here she is sitting in this chair, high and mighty, with this crown on, and she's sitting up in this chair. I feel like, and it's pretty obvious, that Danny was a part of this all from the beginning, and she was a part of it all from the beginning, and because it's just, well, I'm gonna tell y'all why I felt like that too near the end. So she's sitting in the chair, so she says yes, obviously, and then they bring all the people to the into the like this place that they have, like this place for sacrificing people. So they bring all the people to the place to sacrifice them. They all go into the place. They sit them down. They get a bear, and they take the bear, take all his intestines out and his insides, and then they put the boyfriend inside the bear. And then they put the boyfriend inside the sacrifice place and it sets him up, and they say, you represent all the nastiness and da-da-da in the world, and whatever the case may be. And so, long story short, they burn the whole place up. They kill all, and then they put this stuff on these guys' tongues. It was 2 guys who they sacrificed themselves willingly to fill in the gaps, because they had to have 9 people, and they only had like 7. So they needed 2 more people. So the 2 guys sacrificed themselves. And so when they go into the building, the guy, he was like, oh, put this on your tongue and you won't feel no pain. And then he puts it on the other guy's tongue. He's like, put this on your tongue, you won't feel no fear. And I'll be like, ooh. I'll be like, why does he get no pain and I get no fear? I'm like, no, we both should get no pain. I'm like, I don't want this shit. Like, well, no fear. What would that be like? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, well, no, we both should get no pain. Like, why does he get no pain and I get no fear? Like, we're about to be on fire. I'm like, I don't mind being afraid of the fire, but girl, I don't want to feel pain. You know what I mean? So, they tried it. So he puts that on their tongues. So, and they set the whole place on fire. As the place is on fire, we see the boyfriend burning up in the bear. And then we see the 2 guys getting set on fire. But the one guy, he starts screaming, which means that they lied. Because I'm like, what herb is there that exists in the world where you can't feel pain? I mean, maybe there is, but I feel like, but obviously they're showing that the man lied to them. They lied so that they couldn't feel the pain from them in the building. So as the guys in the building start screaming in pain, everybody outside starts screaming as if they're on fire too, and they start running around and screaming and hooping and hollering like, oh my God, and losing their mind like as if they're on fire. And then, it's just a whole mess. And we see the girl Danny, who's now the queen. We see her walking in the grass, crying and doing the most as if she's so sad. And then she eventually stops crying, and she stops and she looks up at the fire, and we see her smile, and she just smiles like this. She's like, and then the movie ends. I'm through. So, so here's my theory. My theory is that Danny was behind all of this the whole time, and she wasn't just behind it. She also was working with the guy who was the boyfriend's friend, and that's why I said when the boyfriend was looking at her, he's like, I'm glad you came on the trip. That showed me that, like, I was like, ooh, something kind of weird. But that's what it was. The boyfriend, I mean, the friend was looking at her like, oh, like, great, like, you're coming, like, so, you know what I mean, like, so, and that's not just that, but my other thing that I'm lost on is the parents who killed themselves, because here's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to think. I'm wondering, did the parents actually kill themselves, or if Danny killed them? That's what I'm wondering, because the way that it was set up was so like it was planned. You know what I mean? Like, it was set up like it was planned, like someone tried to kill them, or just very elaborate, very 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 elaborate. And probably so. Probably it's probably what it was, because then, you know what? Because then, I feel like they probably killed the family so that way the boyfriend could feel more guilty and not want to break up with her, which would make him want to invite her on the trip. And I feel like it was such an elaborate plan. Like, they planned this all elaborately so they could bring the boyfriend there on the trip, because he's vital to the ritual, basically. And so, and then the other reason I feel like the other reason I feel like Danny was a part of it is because, and I mentioned the bear, right? Okay. In the place, we saw they had a lot of art. Like, they had a lot of artwork, and the artwork had a very unique style to it. In the beginning of the movie, we see that the girl, Danny, she's laying down on her bed. And when she's laying down on her bed, there's a piece of art above her of a bear. And the bear is kissing this little girl with a crown on her head. And I feel like that symbolizes her being Danny kissing her boyfriend, who the boyfriend is the bear. Because at the end of the movie, we see that he was in the bear. Like, they put him inside the bear and put him on fire. And so, I was just like, wow, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But that's kind of that's just what I felt like, and that's just my theory. My theory is that Danny, all along, she was the one who was a part of it, and she was like, because she's the queen, she's their May Queen, and maybe every May Queen like is a very elaborate person who plans things out. Maybe, who knows? But that's just my theory on the film. I feel like Danny was behind the shit, and she was a raggedy queen who tried it. The movie was phenomenal. If I can give it a point, like, out of 10, or like out of stars, I would give it like 4.5 stars. So I'll give it 4.5. And that's just, I would give it 5. No, like, it was good. It was great. But there are just some things that I was kind of lost on, that I wish you kind of just got more clarity on. Not clarity, but just, I don't know, like, just, I don't know. I can't give it a 5. I can't give it a 5. It's just not at that point. But definitely amazing. Definitely worth 4.5 stars. It's amazing. I encourage everyone to go see it. Well, if you don't like stuff that's very screaming, like a lot of gore, like if it's really gory, then don't go see it. It's very gory. There's some gory parts. Yeah, but overall it's really good though. Be prepared to have your mind thrown all over the place. It's so confusing at different parts of the film. It just really throws you off. Like, when you think you know what's going on, you don't. Like, it just throws you off. The visuals are insane. They're very trippy. Yeah, it's a lot of trippy parts. It's like one part where they're walking. I noticed that. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but it's one part when they're walking, and in the trees you see this like face. Like, there's a face in the trees. It's like this huge. It's like, it looks like something from Norse mythology or something like that. Like it looks very like mythological, but it's like this face and the trees. It looked like a man with like a beard almost, but it's just trippy. Like there's some weird visuals in that film that I was just noticing. I was looking around like and just notice things like if you already saw the movie and you didn't notice some of these things, definitely rewatch it or when you get the chance, and you'll see like little things in the background like pieces of art, things. And that's one thing I want to look at again. I want to look at the art again. Cause one, the art was beautiful, and two, I just really want to see it again. Like the art was amazing. But overall, I love the film. I don't know if I can see it again because that shit was it was too much. It was way too much. I was getting like, oh my god, like, and the acting was amazing. The girl who played Danny, her acting was phenomenal. Loved it. Everybody did a great job. The whole team. I enjoyed the film. It definitely was amazing. And yeah, so I hope you guys like my first review. This is my first time doing stuff like this, girl. I feel like doing it because the film was amazing. I'm just like, I gotta review this. It was insane. It's completely insane. So anyways, yeah, make sure if you like the channel, I might try doing more of these in the future, more reviews. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff on my channel. I do a bunch of random different things. I do gaming videos. I got a video of me dancing. Other things too. I do a podcast, but I don't know. I gotta do more episodes of it in the future. So I'll try doing more episodes of my little podcast and uploading that. But yeah, be on the lookout for different things. I like to upload different things. Sometimes I might do more ASMR videos in the future. I do like ASMR role play for fun. So definitely check those out in the future. And yeah, you guys. So, alright, I'm done holding you up. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Alright, and bye-bye.